I wanted to come in here and talk to you guys about routine, because this is the thing about routine, right? I mean, there's so many times I know in my life, and I know in a lot of my clients' life, where they talk about how they wish they could come up with a routine that would help them run a marathon, that would help them have a better relationship, that would help them lose weight, that would help them create a dynamic workshop for their entrepreneurial business, or help them write a book, whatever it may be. And the thing about, and every single time, even to myself, I do this, I talk about like, okay, well, you already have a routine, so why are you wishing for a routine when you already have one? And that routine is the routine that you have that stops you and prevents you from accomplishing or working towards all those things that you want in life, right? I mean, you have the routine of, I don't know, whatever it is that you do. I know that most of us have a routine where we will sit there for hours and just flip through social media, or we'll sit there and just look at the page on the book, the piece of paper on the computer, or the document on the computer, getting ready to write that book, in other ways like that. Like we begin to think about like, the routine. We don't ever think about, let me rephrase that. We don't ever think about the routine that we already have that prevents us from doing all those things. And so it's not about routine. It's about shifting some of those actions that you were doing in that routine. And so I'd like to talk to you guys about shifting your actions. When we shift actions, when we look at our routine, right? When we look at our routine that we have right now, write it out. Write it out what it is that you do right now. Okay, so I get up in the morning. The first thing I do is blump. Second thing I do is blump. The third thing I do is blump. And then also write in there, like when I have space to just myself, when I'm not working or I need a little break or whatever, what are you doing inside that break that you've already created as a routine? Is it scrolling? Is it reading a book? Is it finding something new and exciting to look forward to? And that's the questions you have to ask yourself. What are you doing right now that is not getting you to that projection of where you want to go? And I can 100% count on it that most of you, it's about your thoughts. It's about your thoughts of like, okay, well, I deserve this break. I deserve this piece of chocolate. I deserve this rest today. I deserve to just be to myself today. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, don't get me wrong. There's times where we absolutely do deserve that. But you have to ask yourself, if you're wanting to get somewhere, think about, shift those things of what you deserve. Like, yes, we all deserve a break, right? We all deserve a mind-numbing break to watch Netflix for a certain amount of time. But that's what I'm saying. Shift your routine to it being a certain amount of time, right? Don't let it be a binge watch or anything like that, especially when you have goals to accomplish. I always say to myself as well as my clients, like anytime that you're sitting on the couch and you're thinking about what you can do tomorrow to work out, shift it and just get up and work out, right? That's it. Like, no matter how tired you are, no matter how much you don't want to do it, because that's the thing about our thoughts when it comes to our routine. We already say those we always say those when I statements, right? So you have to figure out how to stop saying those when I statements, like, okay, well, when I get off work, or when I get those shoes in that I ordered to work out in, or when I get that new pen in so I can write that book, or when I get my new computer, I'm going to begin to write this program. Whatever it is for you, you have to stop saying the when I statements and move into a routine of breaking down the fear of making the wrong decision, basically. And so I know that fear, when it comes to fear, it's really hard to shift all that, because a lot of people don't break down where their fear comes from or why it's happening and things like that. And so I know that shifting the fear can be paralyzing. It could be like, holy cow, what now? And, and that could be anywhere from like, what are people going to think? Or what are my family going to do if I don't eat dinner tonight because I'm not hungry? Or what am I going to do? The fear of like not spending time with the family because you've been at work all day because you want to get to the gym to make yourself better. Well, I think in those moments, it's not about the when I. It's about finding a way to be able to shift that routine and letting your family know what you need for you to be able to be a foundation. And I get it. I've been there in the sense of like, where I've been working all day. My wife has been home with the child. All I want to do is go home and be able to give her a break so she can do the things that she loves to do. And I'm sure she's on the other end thinking, oh my God, when is she getting home so I can start doing me, right? And I get that. And so you have to be able to shift those routines that you're doing to be able to get you into that right mindset. There's, everybody thinks that we have to work out for like an hour a day. It's like, you can take 7 to 10 minutes, right? And do something. And so, it's about shifting the routine of like, okay, go ahead and get home. And whenever you get the kid and whatever you have to do, just take 10 minutes and just work out, either with the kid in the room or playing with the kid at the same time. Like anything can become anything. Same thing with writing, perhaps you can talk to your, however you do it. Like I'm going on and on and on. I don't need to about like whatever it's going to look like for you, what it did for me. And so, write down your routines right now, and then write down a routine you desire to create, and take both of those at the same time and combine them to see who or what is standing in your way from making the things that you want come to light. And, I know by doing that, you're able to see how much time you waste in a day, or how much time you may put towards something else that has nothing to do with the goal that you have in play. And yes, we have work, and yes, we have life, and yes, we have this, but those are the when I statements, right? So we have to stop doing that. We have to stop doing like, okay, and use those excuses of like what you have in your life and what's going on, if it's not completing where you want to be in life. And so make a stance today in that routine. Like say if you're a person who drives home from work and all your thoughts are just going crazy about the people you're going home to, that they're negative, they're narcissistic or whatever, and then all of a sudden like you're in the car the whole time and your thoughts are like, oh my God, I couldn't stand that. So therefore you're causing negativity energy in the whole space. And so perhaps on your way home, listen to things that inspire you, do the things that stop off at that place that you always wanted to stop off at, and just like sit there for 7 minutes, grab a cup of coffee, just shift one thing in your routine that doesn't serve you, so that way you can begin to build a routine that does serve you and get you into that part of your life where you want to go. I feel like I went like in all different directions here, but hey, that's how it's supposed to be, right? That's life. We go in all different directions. I know for me, like I had this routine of like always visioning and imagining me in that skinny time frame I was, back in the day, where I want to be now, right? So it's like, for me, it's about when I think about my body and losing weight and stuff, I always want to visualize what I used to look like, and as I did that one day, I was like, okay, that's a great vision. That's a great way to like, have that vision of like goals of where I want to go. But at the same time, thinking about that time in my life, I was so unhealthy. I mean, I barely ate. I drank way too much. I smoked way too much back in those days. And so it's like, yes, I want the body that I had back then, but I definitely don't want the health that I want that I had back then, right? So I shifted that routine of these visions of thoughts into where it no longer was about my weight. It was more about being healthy and being fit and transitioning my routine so that way I'm working towards that goal of being healthy and being fit. So, it wasn't so much about working out, it became more about my thoughts, and it became more about my emotions, and it became more about my feeling and working on that. And then from there, that gained me the strength and the inspiration to move into a routine of workout, and to then move into a routine of healthy eating and feeling fit and feeling a lot more alive. And I think whatever we're going through in our life, or whatever shift you want to make in your life, looking at those routines that you have and seeing how you can shift them into something that's more you, is the best personal growth technique that we can give ourselves. And that's about the journey in life, right? And that's where we can go in the sense of maybe revamping or re-looking at what our goals are, and what they mean to us, or what they mean, what they used to mean then to what they mean now. And sometimes that's the routine. Sometimes the routine is just shifting your thoughts. Sometimes the routine is like, that whole 6 months of like, okay, I gotta think, I gotta shift this, I gotta feel. I don't think there's anything, if we're not feeling our own emotions, if we're not feeling how something is for us, then our routine is not going to be of service to ourselves. And as you guys know, it is my mission in life to be able to create a space for everyone to be able to think about their thoughts and feel their feelings, so that way they can live their best life. I mean, because I'm telling you, there is nobody of all the shit that I've been through, like, that shifted their mindset into creating a life and a world that is joyful and happy. And it took a lot of understanding my routines, and it took a lot of understanding the routines of my thoughts. Like, before, the first thing I would do is wake up in the morning and it would just be negative. My thoughts would just go complete straight to negative. And so I had to shift my routine. It's like when I first wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is give gratitude. The first thing I do is I shift those thoughts in my routine, so that way I can build a better me. And I know for my clients, it has worked tremendous for them. And I know it can for you too, in the sense of just figuring out what you need to shift. And again, when you write down your routines, what you're doing right now, currently, write down every little minute thing, because that is how we can change things. That's how we can shift the routines from being negative to positive, from being like stuck to growth. It's about thriving and rising above to something that is a little bit more inspirational, empowering for ourselves. And so, yeah, routine. It's not about making changes, right? It's about shifting your thought about your routine, and understanding how it all makes you feel. So write down all your routines that you have right now. Write down all the feelings you have on them. Write down all the thoughts you have on them. And anything that comes up, if you're like, yes, I do scroll through social media way more than what I'd like to, but yet you enjoy that, then instead of going to like an hour, set your alarm to like 10 minutes and be like, okay, for 10 minutes, I'm going to shift through social media. And then after that, I'm going to get my butt in gear and do what I want to love, or perhaps like if you like certain YouTube videos, and you're working out, like just have it to where you just run through those YouTube videos, listen to them, whatever you got to do. Like, it's not about changing things. And you must change them. It's about shifting the thoughts you have on your routine to where it empowers you to want to shift in your life and to grow more full and more complete and more happy and joyful and all that other good stuff. All right, before I keep rambling on, that's what I want to do. So I hope today I have shifted your mindset and understanding your routine, understanding how you can shift routines that will give you, that will get you out of that stuck that you feel and into a world of limitless possibilities. And until next time, my friends, keep loving, keep growing, and keep embracing life boldly.